what is the best workout I should do? He'll mention that, but then he'll also say, the one that you do, that's your best workout. The one that you actually are willing to do. And if you're like me, I like to mix it up a lot. I can get bored pretty quickly. And so I just know that when I move every day, that's good. I need lots of movement throughout the day. Cheryl, what are your favorite things to do?
I am a big fan of Pilates. So something I've done it at home. I've joined a website where I pay for all different kinds of workouts. So it's pretty gentle on the body. It's not heavy weights, but I find the strengthening and the lengthening makes me feel so good. And it's not easy. Don't ever kid yourself that it's easy. You're trying to do, leg lifts for 20 rounds, or it's not for the faint of heart. It's a good workout. I sweat, I get my heart rate up.
Welcome. Thank you for hopping on today, and welcome to the Healthy Heart webinar. We're excited that you guys are here. All day today I was thinking about this webinar and I kept thinking Happy Heart webinar. And I was like, that really would have been a good title for this also.
That would have been great.
Yes, it just seems like that would have been fun. So, but that is what we're doing on these webinars. We're talking about all the different ways to keep your heart healthy, or maybe you have found out that your heart maybe could use some work. So what do we need to do to make it happy? And that's the goal of this webinar. And it has come from all of your desires to have Dr. Saunders teach more on how to have a healthy heart. And so for those of you who may be new here, welcome. My name is Leslie, and I am your host. I'm typically your host for your webinars. And I have the fun, honor, and privilege of just kind of hanging out in the background and asking the questions that you guys ask. I don't know all the things, but Dr. Saunders does. And with me, we also have my sweet friend, Cheryl, who actually probably does know a lot of the answers, but we have to be careful to not tell you, right? I'll just put the disclaimer out there now. So when Dr. Saunders hops on here, he is a doctor, but he's not your doctor. And so it is recommended that you chat with your doctor before you implement any of these things that we talk about. Same with Cheryl. Cheryl knows a lot. Cheryl is an editor for our Home Cures That Work magazine. I was actually wondering this. Do we still print that out and send it to people?
We do not. It's only available online, and it is subscription based. There are articles that are available without a subscription, but if you want to read Dr. Saunders articles, then you do require a subscription. But what we haven't talked about is actually getting a discount code for if you want to be a Home Cures That Work member, then we need to get a discount code so that you guys can read his amazing articles. I was just telling Leslie before the webinar started that we're scheduled to talk about myths about heart today. And I was going back, I saw blood pressure on the list, and I was like, I know Dr. Saunders wrote an article about this. I looked back, and he wrote an article in 2018 that lists almost all the ingredients in the Healthy Heart Support supplement. So he's been writing for years. So you can just look anytime you want, you can look online. If you rather read, you can do probably a quick glance rather than watch a video, but we need to get a coupon code. I'll put that on my to-do list.
Yes, we will do that. You guys saw that she's holding up that Healthy Heart supplement. Sometimes it's hard for you to see. Hopefully you can see one of ours. This is our newest, actually not our newest, one of our newest supplements. But what I think is so cool is, Dr. Saunders, like Cheryl said, 5 years ago, he wrote an article talking about a lot of these things that are needed to help get a happy heart, right? So L-carnitine, this is beetroot, ashwagandha, olive leaf extract, coenzyme Q10. So what I'm going to guess happened is even when he wrote that back then, it was probably like the latest research that he had found. And this is the sad part. And I'm just going to say this. If I bring this to many of the doctors that I know, they're still not going to know what this stuff is for. It's sad. The thing that we love about Dr. Saunders is that he is constantly researching, constantly learning. He tries a lot of this stuff on himself, which is so funny to me. Nothing is going to harm you. These are all good things, but mostly he does food experimentations, I think is what he loves to do, whether it's fasting for a long time. And he's so funny. He'll just tell you, yeah, I was fasting for so long and I actually passed out on stage. No big deal to him, right? But these are the kind of things that he experiments with. And because he believes in this stuff so much, he tries them. He was vegan for a year. Sometimes he changes his diets just to see what works best. And then he educates us on it, what he finds with his patients. He's awesome.
One of his last diet was high fiber. And he was doing that prior to writing Healthy Heart. I think he did for a full year, he did high fiber.
Yes. And one of the things, we're actually waiting for Dr. Saunders to hop on, guys. He's in London. And so lots of different funny things happen when he's there, but he usually hops on with a really cool background. So let's hope that is what happens today. Whoops, grabbing the wrong thing here. This is, I think we're on what, episode 6? Is that right? Or 7? I don't know. But the point is, this is what we're talking about on these webinars. So this is our Healthy Heart Solution Kit. And this is one of our newest solution kits that Dr. Saunders helped to write. A lot of people on our team went through this as well. And this is what Dr. Saunders recommends to someone who comes into his office who maybe has heart disease or would like to have a healthy heart. All of that. The fun part is this is a $19.97 download for exactly what he's going to tell you in his office. And this probably even has more information that he's not able to get to in a quick little doctor visit. And lots of great information in this. Before we started these webinars, we reread through this. And I mean, just the information alone on why high fiber, stress, exercise, why all of those things matter, what some of the things are that we assume is good for your heart and maybe are not. You'll be shocked. And the goal of these webinars is really to dig in deeper and break this stuff down so that you fully understand it. So when you're ready to make those changes or you're in the thick of making those changes, some of this stuff will make sense. If you're interested in this, you can go to bartonwebinar.com. There's a link for this. And there's a coupon code webinar 25. It'll save you 25%. So that's on all of the supplements. That's on this. I'll tell you right now, because I know people will ask this. This gets asked on all of our webinars. What supplement can I take to reverse my heart disease? Or what supplement, there'll be a lot of different things. Yes, there you go. But that alone will not do it. There are no supplements that you can take to reverse stuff. Now, I say that carefully because there's a lot of research coming out about berberine and the things that it can do. So there could be a supplement at some point that maybe does some of those things alone, but this is where the magic happens. This is the true work that needs to be done. So if you want that today, you can get that today in a downloadable version. Or Cheryl, how do they get the printed copy if they want this sent to them?
So you'd have to call us. We don't sell the printed copy alone, but tell them the webinar 25 discount when you call us 888-356-1146 and they'll send it to you. It's $19.95 plus shipping and handling and $9.95, but you get a 25% discount code if you use our webinar code.
She said that a few times, I think. You've probably typed that a few times.
Yes, I have.
All that. So Cheryl, tell us what else you do for our customer support.
Yes. So I'm also in customer support. So I work with our phone team and I work with our email team. And I tell you what, unfortunately, we get a lot of customers telling us they want to return their items because their doctors don't want them to take it. And that's the saddest part, is when they've done all this effort, they've done the research themselves and said, this is what's going to help me. And then they have to return it. So I help return items. I try to help you, convince you to keep items, and I give you discounts, or I just help you if you need a download, if you want to have an auto order and you need it sooner, or you want to delay your auto order, or you want to change your address. We'll do all that for you.
Okay, awesome. And that's good to know. I mean, that's the nice part about trying any of our products. Like she said, you can get your money back. You can get your money back. So very little risk, right? Actually, no risk, because you can get it back.
Joe offers, I'm very proud, Joe Barton offers a 365-day money-back guarantee. So he stands behind our products for 365 days. It's unmatched, pretty much. You can't get that. 30 days at match. I just bought some protein powder. It's only a 30 days. Actually, you can't even return it. But if you buy one of our supplements, I'm not saying return it.
Yes.
But we have a 365-day money-back guarantee because we believe in our products.
Yes. And yeah, we have toured even the places where we get our supplements, and you guys would not even believe, we really almost need to do a recording and show that on a webinar, what that looks like.
So
what a process.
And I can remember a few things about the tour. So the world standard is Australian. The Australians have the tightest ship when it comes to supplements. And actually, we can only ship so many supplements at a time to Australia. But the manufacturer that we use actually follows the Australian standards for creating our supplements. And we have 3 ways that we make sure that they're pure. That's exactly what's on the label. And we quarantine our products, we test our products. So it is the highest standard of supplements out there because they hold themselves to the highest regard when they create our supplements for us.
I can remember we have a product called Turmeric BP Plus. And at one point we had gotten in turmeric, but it was not the same quality, like just a minuscule little change, wasn't the same turmeric. And I think it was the turmeric ingredient itself that wasn't quite right. And we ended up pulling or not finishing production of it, and which was hard because we ran out of product. We didn't have enough product to even give to our customers, but we weren't willing to make the sacrifice to send out something that was less than perfect for us. So they are really good products. Okay. Just going to see here. We have Alicia is saying hi. Awesome. And feel free, guys, if this is your first time here, would you please say hello? You can actually comment right in the chat. And then if you have questions as we go, if you would post those in the Q&A, it's a little bit easier for us to manage those if those are there. Facebook, same thing. YouTube, if you're seeing this, same thing. We'll do our best to get to as many of those as possible. Sometimes we don't see those on YouTube because it's actually the replay, but we do try to respond to those messages. I haven't heard yet from Dr. Saunders. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to give you a little tour of the things that you need to know about us, because it's important to know where to get more information. If for some reason Dr. Saunders doesn't get on this webinar, I want to make sure you still get some information today and you know how to get it. So let me share my screen real quick. Here we go. First, here is our Barton webinar site. And this is going to kind of be the hub for all information that you guys need. If you're like, God, I really have a question about something, just go here and I promise this will take you to where you need to be. So you can register for the fixed blood sugar webinar here, which is the one that we do on Wednesdays, and that's for type 2 diabetes. And then you can register for the Healthy Heart webinar. Both of those are there. If for some reason you need to tell a friend about it or whatever, that's there. We also have our list of top 10 questions. We have our latest webinars that we try to update these. So if you're like, man, I missed the webinar 2 weeks ago, I finally have some free time, I need to go listen, come on here. You can see we have the top 10 risk factors for heart disease. If you missed that webinar, guys, it's so good. It was so good. Dr. Saunders shared about what the research was saying were risk factors and why they said that was a risk factor versus what he actually believed were true risk factors. And it was very interesting. I think we found some interesting things like smoking was actually really far down on the list. Now, I feel like I grew up as a child like that is the worst thing you can do for your heart, and which was great for them to tell us that. I'm glad. But shockingly, it wasn't even high on the list. So just lots of good information. And Dr. Saunders kind of takes his very scientific biologist mind and makes it make sense for us, which is so rare. I mean, he even tells jokes. So that doesn't always happen, I feel like, with a lot of these conversations I've had with other people. Frequently asked questions, but you'll also see here a link to our products. Again, if you use code webinar25, you'll save 25% on all of these. Dr. Saunders is never going to tell you, take the supplements first. That's what you need first. He wants you to do the work of whatever is in our solution kits first. That's where the magic happens. The supplements are there to support. So, the ingredients that are in those supplements often are things that he has found through testing that many people are lacking. And, when your body isn't getting all of the nutrients that it needs, it's harder to reverse disease. It's harder to make changes. And so that is why many of those were formulated. So, and here's your home cures that work. You can kind of see what that looks like. I mean, it's still, even though it's not a physical printout, it is very much like a magazine. And if you love Dr. Saunders like we do, you're going to really enjoy reading his articles. Just full of wisdom and just a lot of good stuff. So love that. And like Cheryl said, she's going to work on getting a code for that so that we can get a discount. Okay, I'm going to stop that here. Just going to check and see where we're at here. Eric, you're back. Eric was on our webinar yesterday where we talked about type 2. Hello, Cheryl and Leslie. Dr. Saunders isn't here yet. So we're just showing you all of the stuff so that when he gets on, he can teach. Aubrey says, I have some heaviness and discomfort in my lower legs. How would you suggest that I address this issue? I also have varicose veins. That'll be a good question for Dr. Saunders. Actually, Cheryl, would you mind texting him one more time and just seeing?
Yeah.
And then while she does that, I'm going to pull up another thing here if I can find it. I'll share my page one more time. I'm going to show you our YouTube channel here too. So here's our Healthy Heart Webinar YouTube link, and that's on that bartonwebinar.com page. So I'm going to actually click that. We'll see what happens here.
So where you start is why. Start with the why. Why do you have high blood pressure? So if you have high blood pressure because of stress, and it's a stress hormone problem, then the blood pressure is not your problem. It's the stress that's the problem, because those stress hormones, remember, that's what prevents you from repairing your arteries.
Oh, now I have it playing somewhere and I don't know how to get it to stop.
Yeah, you'll do damage, but you'll repair them. So, the pressure is just an indicator that something's wrong. And so what you need to know is
it won't stop.
Why is your blood?
Hold on one second. I'm going to try to shut this off. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the health. Okay, it keeps playing, but that is where our YouTube channel is, guys. If you are wondering how to get there, you will find you will nearly have a college education. I feel like by that's not true. I said a disclaimer. Don't listen to everything I say, but there is so much information there. All of our webinars are there for both the Healthy Heart webinar and the Fixed Blood Sugar webinar. Not only that, we have some of you have sat down with us and done videos talking about what worked for you and your success. A lot of times it's with the diabetes solution kit, but maybe it's with some supplements, etc. And we have videos of those. So if you really want to hear from real, live, truthful people, you can find those there. Another thing that I don't know that we've talked about a lot on this webinar. We have a workout playlist, and it is HIIT training. So high intensity interval training, and it's movement with Mariah. Is it Mariah? Did I say that right? Or is it? I think it's Mariah. Yes. She does quick little 10-minute workouts. Those are phenomenal. So that is another free playlist on our channel that you guys should really look at, take advantage of it. 10-minute workouts. Everyone's got 10 minutes. If it's too difficult for you, make it work for you. You know, if you're not able to do all of it, you can do it sitting in a chair. You can do it however you need to do it. But if you're looking for some inspiration or some ideas on how to do some workouts, how to get some cardio, there's a lot of benefits to high interval intensity training. And Dr. Saunders talks a lot about that. And actually, I think he really does recommend that primarily. So check that out. He will also tell you, if we will get questions from many people on this webinar, what is the best workout I should do? He'll mention that, but then he'll also say the one that you do, that's your best workout, the one that you actually are willing to do. And if you're like me, I like to mix it up a lot. I can get bored pretty quickly. And so I just know that when I move every day, that's good. I need lots of movement throughout the day. Cheryl, what are your favorite things to do?
I am a big fan of Pilates. So something I've done it at home. I've joined a website where I pay for all different kinds of workouts. So it's pretty gentle on the body. It's not heavy weights, but I find the strengthening and the lengthening makes me feel so good. And it's not easy. Don't ever kid yourself that it's easy. You're trying to do, leg lifts for 20 rounds, or it's not for the faint of heart. It's a good workout. I sweat, get my heart rate up, and that's what I prefer right now. However, I do enjoy walking. I'm trying to reduce some stress, so I just go for easy walks in the morning, and that's what I'm doing right now. So
yes, that's good. Have you ever done the Pilates reformer?
I have not. What's that about?
I'm assuming, I think that's what it's called, but it's like that it's like a machine, Pilates machine.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, have a little Google there and check that out. It's amazing.
Looks like a torture device, but
It does a little bit. Yes.
in one way.
We also have new to my area is a place called Stretch Labs. And I'm really interested in that, to have somebody just really work to stretch your body. It sounds awesome.
Research, Home Cures That Work did have one thing to say for varicose veins, and that was pine bark extract.
Oh,
That was going to help. Yes.
You know what else? I know for a fact that Dr. Saunders has recommended, oh, help me, Cheryl, horse chestnut cream. I might be making those up. Hold on. I'm going to look at it. I just remembered this. I might have made the full thing up. No, it is horse chestnut cream. That was another thing that I know he personally had recommended to me at one point, I think when I was pregnant, actually, was that. So that might be something to check into as well. We're hoping he hops on here, guys. I'm so sorry that he's not here today, but it's okay, because I feel like there's a lot of background information that you guys often don't get on the webinars. So this is good. But check that out as well. One thing that he will say, I don't even know that I should, maybe I won't even go into that, but let me just talk about the Healthy Heart solution kit itself. This is very different. If you guys have been on our webinars for type 2, this doesn't look the same. When we talk about, a lot of you I know are on that webinar, and you may be someone who is looking to reverse your type 2 while also really wanting a healthy heart. Maybe you have heart disease, etc. The eating plans are different when you are working to reduce your blood sugar. It's recommended that you start with a low carb program. Now, that isn't the only way to do it. That is just what Dr. Saunders has found to be the easiest and the quickest. But over the years, many of you will have noticed that he has mentioned eating more fiber. He's been researching this, like I said, trying things on his own, and he has found eating more fiber to be very, very beneficial for your body in general. So on those type 2 webinars, he mentions increasing your fiber. In this Healthy Heart Solution Kit, that is the biggest key. It is very high fiber. And Cheryl, when we say high fiber, what does that really mean? Like, what is an example of high fiber? What would you say? What do you think?
You mean per meal or like a day? So you can easily get 5 to 25 grams of fiber per meal. Actually, I did a high fiber breakfast, chia seeds overnight with oatmeal, with some coconut milk, and then I added some berries on top of it, which also had fiber. I did not calculate the fiber, but I'm guessing it was maybe around 15 in one meal.
How phenomenal does that taste?
Oh, it tastes amazing. And I feel so good after that.
Yes, that's awesome. So those are, that's an example. One of the things that you'll find in this too is we have high fiber recipes. And I've mentioned this before, but Cheryl has a chocolate cake recipe in there made from black beans. So it's healthy.
It's amazing. I made it for my husband.
You made it for the team as well.
And everyone's a little bit like, what, gross looking, gross faces, but was so good. Dr. Scott and Joe like put it in their take-home bags on the airplane to take home with them. They loved it so much.
Oh, it's so good. In fact, we get together as a team here in a few weeks, and I'm like, we may have to do that again. We might have to make some of that, Cheryl. That was good.
So here's a chia pudding with blueberries and almonds. That's a recipe in here. And there were 11 grams of fiber in this recipe.
Okay, so similar. What are some of do you know what some of the other benefits of chia seeds are? I don't even know for sure. I know they're good for you, but any ideas?
They're helping with like constipation to help
Yeah, okay.
relieve your bowels. And they actually provide good omega-3s, I believe.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to give you an idea of what's in here. So there's an Italian chopped salad, sauteed, this is from Joe, sauteed shredded Brussels sprouts, a lentil soup. Joe has his chili recipe, Joe's chili, creamy sweet potato chicken soup. So here's the deal. You're going to get a lot of really good tasting foods. These are just some basic recipes. If you're not used to eating high fiber, these are ideas. This doesn't mean this is what you have to do. And I tell everybody, because I get a lot of messages from people, they're like, what do I do now? What other food can I do? What other recipes do I? And I usually will say, why don't you try to find 2 to 3 things that you know you love? You have 2 or 3 for breakfast, 2 or 3 that you love for lunch, and 2 or 3 that you love for dinner. Once you're in that routine of mixing those up, then try a new recipe to see if you like it. And ta-da, you can add that to your schedule if you like it. That's the way that works best for me. That's what I would recommend. But the other really important part about this is also stress reduction. Dr. Saunders has told stories, it's so many stories about people and how stress has impacted their battle for their health and their mind. And in fact, I was just chatting with someone today about the story that he told. A woman was trying to reduce her, she was trying to lower her blood sugar levels, and she was following one of our programs to the T. I mean, she was eating very low carb, doing all the things, exercising, and she kept coming back and her numbers weren't changing. And Dr. Saunders was like, you know, he was a little suspicious. He was like, I really don't think you're following this the right way, because that's just too strange. He'd already done all of the testing as well to see where she was at. Well, one day she came back for her appointment with him, and her numbers had dropped dramatically. And he asked her what happened, and her daughter had moved out. Her daughter had been living with her, and she didn't even recognize that that was a big stress for her, but she was helping to take care of her, financially, physically helping to take care of her, probably making extra meals, laundry, dishes, doing all of those things. So after she had moved out, it had been a couple of weeks, I think, and Dr. Saunders saw her and her numbers had improved, and that was the only change. And so that is how big of a difference stress can make in your life, not just concerning your blood sugars, but your health in general. So you can do all the things, but you still got to get your stress in check.
We have customers who email us, it's not working. Well, we ask them, what else is in your life? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you having stress? People don't want to hear that, but that does make a difference.
Yes.
And I wanted to go back real quick. There is a fiber counting cheat sheet in here. If you're thinking about how much fiber you're adding to your diet, you can look up these recommendations and then build on that as well.
Awesome. What page is that on, Cheryl?
On page 106.
106. Okay, that's good to know. Another thing, sleep, Cheryl brought that up briefly, but we have a few webinars that, well, I think we're probably going to hop off here early because we haven't heard from Dr. Saunders. But guys, if you have the time, you're already here, and we apologize that he wasn't able to be here. In about 200 webinars that I've done with him, he's never missed. So actually, I hope he's okay. So,
Yeah.
But we will find out. But I would recommend that if you have the time, go back and watch maybe the first couple Healthy Heart webinars that we've done, or if there's something that you're really curious about, sleep, stress, the effect of sleep on your body. Dr. Saunders has done some webinars on the difference between anabolic and catabolic metabolism, and when those kick in at different ones during the day, ones at night, why it's important to go to bed up with an empty stomach. what happens to your body while you're sleeping and why it's important to get enough sleep and during the right hours. But you can look up, when you go to our YouTube channel, you can search within our channel. You can look for 610 reset is what he calls that. I think there's a webinar called anabolic versus catabolic. You could probably look up sleep and you will find a few webinars on that topic. Guys, that is just as important. And really, that's like stress. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's stress on the body as well. But those are game changers for your health. Stress and sleep are huge.
And it's free. You don't have to buy a supplement. I mean, we recommend it, but work on your sleep. Make that a priority. See the changes in your body.
Yes. We do have a lot of people that say they struggle with sleep. And that can be for various reasons. One of the things that Dr. Saunders does recommend is figuring out why, of course. But we do have a magnesium supplement. Most everyone, Dr. Saunders has said, is deficient in magnesium. And our magnesium product is a topical, what do you call it? Not topical. What do you?
It's a topical spray.
Okay, I was thinking transdermal. Is that what that means? Transdermal.
Yes, we can.
Sometimes I make up words. I don't actually know if they're right or not. But anyway, so you spray it. And I use that at night. Yeah, and I think almost everyone on our team actually uses it. And what I love about it is that it does bypass the gut because I have drank magnesium before, and sometimes you can get into trouble when you're drinking your magnesium. And this one, I don't have that problem, but I don't struggle with sleep. And I think that is a big part of it. That's just my routine to use that at night. So something to think about. That, of course, is on our website. You can get there from bartonwebinar.com. Or if you want to just see the supplements, you can go to bartonnutrition.com. And again, that code webinar25 will still save you 25% there. So check that out. If you have other questions that you guys want to ask us, maybe that aren't medical questions, because I probably can't answer those. You know what, Aubrey, if you want to email me, Leslie@bartonpublishing.com, I can see what I can find out for you. I love this. Lloyd said, are dark chocolate M&Ms good or bad for heart health or diabetes? Well, I don't know exactly what Dr. Saunders would say, but there are a few things I do know that he will say about sugar in general. He is not a fan of sugar, and he will tell you he is a sugar addict himself, recovering sugar addict. He's so funny. I remember one time he was talking about how, he was the kid when he was little, he would like take gum underneath benches and stuff that other people had chewed and put it in his mouth. That's how bad he was. I love it when he tells those stories. It's so funny. Yeah, that's gross. And then he'll say, but now I just snack on things like, carrots. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do people really do that? Yes, he does. He actually does. He is that dedicated to his work. He's not a fan of sugar, but I will say this. He will tell you, he has told stories of people who, he has told them they're better off not stopping smoking than they are, or while they're trying to change their diet, or if you need something to feel happy, sometimes that's better than the stress of not allowing yourself to have it. So you kind of need to see where you're at. Now, are we talking a whole bag of M&Ms? No, that would not be good. But
and sometimes during the month, a woman might need that extra chocolate. Dark chocolate actually has magnesium in it. So if you're going to stress out and go crazy without it, take it for a little bit while you can manage.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. This is also reminding me, I don't know what this message said for sure that came in, but we do have a fiber greens product that is really, really, really popular and everyone loves it. I should probably pull that up really quick. In fact, my husband just mixed his right before I hopped on this. I'm going to pull it up on the website because I want you guys to see it.
We have two flavors. We have green apple and iced tea lemonade. My favorite is iced tea lemonade. Some people like the green apple more. But someone just asked about a chia seed ice cream recipe, but actually we have people who make ice cream from the fiber greens. They mix up the fiber greens, just like the recipe says, or the ingredients, and then they stick it in the freezer, and then they eat it with a spoon. That's a really good ice cream recipe right there.
Yes. Okay, so check these out, guys. Here are the fiber greens. They're little, what do we call them? Canisters, tubs. So it's just a scoop, you mix it with your water, and you're going to want to drink it right away. You don't want to let it just sit, because you will be sorry. It will start to thicken, and it's supposed to. That's what it's supposed to do, but you will drink it. Again, code webinar 25 will save you 25% on that. But I really love that iced tea lemonade flavor as well. This is a really good option for two different things. Let's look at these ingredients right here. Can I zoom in? Okay, so it's a superfood greens blend. Now, I don't know about you, but this is probably hard for you to see, but there is no way I'm getting all that stuff in a day, all those greens. And so we were like, well, how can we get this good greens type of fiber and something that tastes good, but also is low carb? Because that's very difficult to do. And out of that discussion came this product. And it has been so incredibly popular. Part of the reason I was thinking of it too was because I wanted you to share that ice cream recipe, because I think that's so clever. But this is a really good option for you if you know you need more fiber. What is okay, I think Dr. Saunders said, how much fiber does the average person get in a day typically? Do you remember? Is it 9 grams?
Yeah, really low, really low.
And he recommended how many? Wasn't it like 40?
At least, yeah. Yes, 25 to 40. 25 is on the low end, but 40 is optimal.
And I know for myself, most of my life never got enough fiber.
Not at all.
So think about that. Think about the things that you're eating and how much fiber you typically get. This is an option. Dr. Saunders, I'll tell you two things. He would say, I'd rather you got your fiber in your food. He's not going to say, yes, go get that. But this is an option. Okay. And it does have stevia, right? It is stevia that's the sweetener, I believe. Which if you have type 2, he will tell you, your body may still respond to that sweet taste. It may raise your blood sugar. And so that's something to see, but it is really good. If you're able to do it, it's really good.
And we call it fiber greens because it not only has fiber, but it has your green vegetables and it has spirulina in it. I do not do my vegetables very well. I lack on those. So I feel better when I eat fiber greens. I really do, because I'm getting my dose of greens for the day. And
yes,
especially in the morning. I feel it's better in the morning than like other times during the day.
Yep.
You've got a clean slate in the morning. So you take that in the morning. I do that, and sets me up for success. And
yes,
I do.
I love that. That's good. Do you just use it one time a day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you use more?
Yep. No, that's all I do.
And I think it has 4 grams of fiber. So if I didn't look, but I think that's what it is.
I don't have it. You know what? Actually, I had one right behind me. Hold on one second. I'm going to look. Zoom in. Okay, so the carbs is 5.5 and the fiber is 4.7. So you're basically getting 1 carb. Net carb if you're counting carbs. Those of you who are just looking at increasing fiber, you're getting some good fiber in there with greens, which is good. Okay, Roy said, I struggle with getting my nights and days flipped. Are there any good strategies to avoid this problem? Since I lost my wife, I have a really hard time getting to sleep. There's probably a lot to be said for that. One of the things, I'm just going to say from personal experience, one of the things that helped me a lot is making sure I'm moving enough during the day so that when I go to bed, I'm tired. And, not having a TV on in the bedroom or screen time, reserving that bed for sleep. And that is it, not even reading your book in there. That's the non-medical advice, I would say. Any other thoughts?
Not having caffeine later in the day, no matter what you say, oh, I can have it at dinner time. It doesn't affect me. Nope, nothing after 2 p.m. at the latest. Caffeine.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good advice.
More of the anabolic and catabolic state that Dr. Saunders talks about, why you want to go to sleep, but at the same time every day. 10 o'clock,
Yes.
30. Don't wait till 12. Just go to bed at 10, 10:30. And it may take a few days to actually fall asleep at that time, but go to bed at the same time. Get up at the same time, no matter how tired you are. 6 a.m., 6:30, whatever your alarm clock says. Don't hit the snooze button. Get up and have your day. Yeah.
And also, you know, when he talks about going to bed at 10, that also means you need to stop eating earlier in the day, which is kind of a hard thing to do sometimes. But Dr. Saunders, he'll call it his 6-10 reset, meaning you stop eating by 6 and you're in bed by 10. And the reason for that is when you go to bed on an empty stomach, that's when your body, you'll sleep better for one. He'll even talk about, you know, if you're eating heavy meals at night, you got to remember your body is working to digest that. And that'll keep you up or in kind of in and out of poor sleep, I think. So yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say the reason why you want an empty stomach is because your body will start producing what's called human growth hormone. And that's the hormone that repairs your body while you sleep, because during the day we're wearing and tearing, we're, you know, just like our muscles, they're getting used. The human growth hormone, not to be a bodybuilder, is actually repairing all the everything that we've used up during the day. It's making you fresh in the morning. So that without an empty stomach, you're fighting it. Then you're not actually, your sleep isn't as beneficial. You don't wait. Your mind is repairing in the middle of the night when you get sleep and you have the right REM stage. So human growth hormone is crucial for setting you up for success.
You know, and I remember years ago when we were really learning about this from Dr. Saunders, we were finding that a lot of people were paying a lot of money for the artificial human growth hormone. And it was expensive. And Dr. Saunders was like, guys, you can do this on your own. You don't need to go out and buy this. But if you want to learn about it, Google human growth hormone. You'll see what we're talking about. It's very interesting. And like I said, we've done a couple of webinars just talking about that, but very interesting. Human growth hormone and ghrelin, just some things that you can probably dig a little bit deeper into that are very interesting. Let's see. Marilyn said, I received an email yesterday from Barton regarding conolidine, morphine, over-the-counter morphine. Can I get you and Dr. Saunders' opinion? Okay, well, he isn't here.
That is one of our affiliate offers. So it's not one of, we approve it, but I don't know if Dr. Saunders has actually used it, but you'd have to ask them about it.
Yeah. Sometimes we work with people that are very similar to us, and they'll send some emails to you guys about the stuff that they're offering. And that isn't one that I'm super familiar with. So
it's a new one. Actually, I think it's the first time or maybe the second time we send it out. Yeah. So
okay. Okay. Very interesting though.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking that. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Roy also said, oh, we have a couple questions I missed. Okay. Roy said, caffeine makes my heart pound, so I avoid it altogether. Usually my mind is just way too busy thinking about things. The broken hip pain doesn't help either. Oh, Roy, that's right. Was that just a couple of weeks ago that you had broken your hip? I remember this now. I remember this conversation. Caffeine, that's an interesting topic. In fact, you know what? I don't know. That might be an interesting webinar topic at some point too, just to talk through some of that. I have a kind of a functional medicine type chiropractor that I see. And I think they were okay with like up to 200 milligrams of caffeine per day, which is still quite a bit. But more than that, if you're drinking more than that, you know, you may need to figure out why that is, or agreed. I have been in situations where I've had too much caffeine and my heart does pound, and that is not a good feeling. 21 days until your surgery. Okay, that's right. Because you were asking questions about fasting before your surgery, Roy. I remember that. Thanks for hopping on again today, guys. Thanks for hanging with us, guys. This is fun. We're just answering questions without our doctor here. I mean, he's either going to be really happy with us or not at all. We'll see. This webinar may disappear.
Right.
It might not make the cut. Hey, but I think there's some good information in here. So, Ernest said, I have diverticulitis for years and eating too much roughage made things worse. Agreed. I have similar problem with that. So I was given Miralax for the last 8 years since I've been on phase 2 of the diabetic solution kit or diabetic solution. I'm so used to saying it that I say it when you didn't even write it. Okay. Since I have been on phase 2 of the diabetic solution and taking iced tea fiber greens, I have not had to take Miralax. That
Awesome.
is
I'm
phenomenal.
going to tell my mom that because she takes Miralax. I've been trying to get her onto fiber greens. I have someone else who I can tell her that's worked.
I love that. I wish Dr. Saunders was on right now because I love to hear he's only mentioned this a couple times on webinars. But in person, he has told us what Miralax actually is. And it's not impressive.
I don't know this.
I want to say, I'm going to say this wrong, but Miralax has similar compounds as to what they use in like car engines. Not good for your body. I do know that. It's very not good for your body. So, I'm gonna have to do that next time. Somebody remind me next time to ask him about Miralax.
Wait, before I go any further, Dr. Scott, what is Miralax?
That'll be the first question that we ask. Honestly, there's something in it, and he is very not excited about it. I do know that. So in fact, I will tell you, so a lot of times people take Miralax and it is heavily recommended. I know I have lots of friends who use it. When you go to the doctor, if you're dealing with problems, they often recommend Miralax. There are some alternatives. One of the alternatives that we have used in the past, of course, is magnesium. There are many types of magnesium, which is something new that I didn't really realize. But if you're dealing with constipation, for example, check out magnesium. You're better off taking high amounts of that probably than anything else, but that would be something to look up. Don't just go randomly buying it. But I will tell you this, I feel like I can say this stuff because I'm not a doctor and I can't really get in trouble with it. And this is just a free webinar for you guys. It'll probably get deleted. We have used, it's a clear bottle of magnesium citrate. You can find them anywhere. Your drugstores, Walmart, Target. I mean, they're probably like $2.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do this all the time, but it has been recommended for me. I'm not saying you should do this, but when I have gotten into times where maybe things weren't moving like they should, I will drink a bottle of that.
Cod liver oil.
Yeah.
That can be used for
That's true. I've been hearing lots and lots of things that castor oil is used for.
Yes, I actually
some of the old things they used it for. And so
I do a castor oil pack at night, actually, because
that's what I just learned about yesterday. Okay.
On a medication for a nerve issue, and it does not help my digestion. So I put a tablespoon on the castor oil pack, wrap it around my liver, and I have tested with and without it, thinking it can't be doing anything. All it is just, some oil being rubbed in, and it makes a difference. I now do it every night because it does help my digestion along the next day.
Literally just watched this yesterday, a video about this. Yeah. Amazing, guys. There's so many amazing things. If you have a weird little remedy, feel free to share it here. You never know. Guys, I love this stuff. This is how we learn. It is so good. Okay. I love this. Charles says, Ray, your pounding may be due to preventricular beats called PVC. Check with a cardiologist to regulate the rhythm. AFib may often lead to heart attack, not OOD program out of doctor. I'm not sure what that means. Colas and coffee are high in caffeine. Thank you, Charles, for that. I appreciate that. That's good. It is always good to get those things checked out, right? Okay. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything else over here. Trisha, which chia seed ice cream recipe is the best you have? Oh, you had mentioned that one already, right?
Yeah, I do. It's not necessarily an ice cream, but I do use coconut cream instead of like coconut milk, and I do non-dairy. I'm not one that goes to oat milk or almond milk. I stick to coconut milk because it's an actual plant. So I use coconut cream with chia seeds and oatmeal, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of maple syrup, and then in the morning I add berries for extra fiber. So 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 2 tablespoons of oatmeal, 6 ounces of coconut cream, dash of vanilla, dash of maple syrup. Let it sit overnight and then add berries for extra fiber in the morning.
Awesome. Coconut cream is phenomenal. I mean, you can do it for so many different things. Even in your coffee is kind of fun. So, okay, my EKG shows normal function, but I will talk with my doctor again. Yes, guys, when you have, again, this webinar, I'm so sorry that Dr. Saunders isn't here. We're hoping he's okay. But make sure you do consult with your doctor on, any of the things even we've been talking about. So. Barton webinar is your hub, guys, where you're going to go to find all of the things, and that'll give you the link to our past webinars as well. I did mention that earlier, but I need to keep remembering to tell you that. And use code webinar25. That will save you 25%.
Yeah, and we do have other books as well. I was noticing on the back here, it's probably, you can't read it, but we have gallstone, we have back pain, kidney stones, UTI, hypothyroidism, gout. So share away if you have other people who you think might benefit from any of these.
Yes. And sometimes I think it's just good, even when we do these webinars, for you guys to see that we are actual real people.
Yeah.
This is also a free webinar, so don't be angry. But we have a really good team on that is a part of our Barton team that works hard for these things. And so sometimes we get these angry emails and they'll say things and I'm like, we're real people, guys. We're real people. Please
Have you checked us out? We get angry customers all the time thinking we're scamming you. Have you actually taken the time to realize we got 2 years of free webinars for you?
I know. If someone was to leave us, if someone was happy with the stuff that we've done, where is a good place to send them to give us a good positive review?
So Barton Nutrition is where we sell all of our supplements, and you can leave a review under the supplement that you've purchased. If you purchase supplements, you can do it on the Barton Publishing website as well, but Barton Nutrition is where we prefer those. People go, you have to create an account, but assuming you purchased, you already have an account already, and then you can write a review under the supplement you purchased.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, you know what? Honestly, this has been really fun. And I love that you guys hung out with us.
Yeah,
and
me too.
It was kind of just a fun webinar where we got to talk about all the things that we sometimes don't get to talk about. So hopefully you leave knowing us a little bit better. Next week, Dr. Saunders will be back. We're praying that he's okay. So he will be back. He will be back. And save your questions for him. He'll be able to, we'll probably do more questions next week since we didn't get to a lot of them today, but again, bartonwebinar.com will help you get more information. If you have time, go there today and do some digging and learn some things. All right. Thank you again, Cheryl. This was fun.
Fun. Yeah.
Yes. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.